Hello, hello, hello. I am the Linux Mensch. Back in the spring, maybe early summer, someone commented and asked me to do a video on Ventoy. And at the time, I knew what it was, but I had never used it. And I thought that's a good idea, but I don't feel like learning how to use it. I think it's going to be too hard. Whatever. So finally, I got around to using it, and now I'm going to do a video about it. So if you don't know what Ventoy is an application that you put onto a thumb drive. And what it does is you can put tons of live ISOs on it, and you can use it to boot into a computer, a real computer. I'm not talking about virtual machines. You can use it to boot onto a computer and choose the distribution that you want to put into your system. Now, one might ask, well, why do I need a software application like Ventoy? Why can't I just put a live ISO on my thumb drive? And you can. So what I've been doing in the past is I usually like to keep at least 2 and sometimes 3 live ISOs on the thumb drive. So I keep, oh, and here's my helper. And this is my helper. Her name is Hope. So like I said, I like to keep a live ISO on the thumb drive. So usually I keep the most current ISO for Arch Linux on the thumb drive. And I like to keep Linux Mint Debian on the thumb drive. And then I usually keep a third thumb drive for another ISO. And sometimes I put MX Linux on it, or Antex Linux, or Linux Mint Ubuntu, or Manjaro, or whatever. And I usually have at least 3, well, I usually have about 3 thumb drives with a live ISO on it. And then I can use my thumb drive to do a new installation, or I can use it to do a repair. This particular thumb drive, I have about, I don't know, 5 or 6 ISOs on it with Ventoy. Now, you might ask, well, why do I need Ventoy? Why do I need that software called Ventoy? Why can't I just use a regular thumb drive? Well, this is a regular thumb drive, but why can't I just put a thumb drive in and copy and paste 7, 8, or 10 ISOs from different distributions onto it? Well, you can do that if you want, but that thumb drive, you won't be able to boot into, you won't be able to plug it in and boot into bare metal computer, a real computer, to do an installation. All you'll have is a thumb drive with, let's say, 7 ISOs on it for safekeeping. But you won't be able to boot into it and choose whatever ISO you want to install. With Ventoy, Ventoy puts their software onto your thumb drive, and then you can put 5, 10, or 15 live ISOs onto it, and you can plug it into a computer, boot up into the computer, tell your BIOS to boot onto the thumb drive, boot onto the thumb drive, and then choose whatever ISO you want to play with, test, or install. And the other advantage of it is this too, is that the way I was doing it, well, there's actually 2 advantages. The way I was doing it was I'd have a live ISO on here, another live ISO on here, and then a third one with a live ISO on it. And then if I wanted to take them with me and I wasn't sure which distribution I wanted to use, I had to carry 3 with me. This way you get to carry 1. And there's another advantage about doing it with Ventoy, and that's this. So I always like to keep the most current version of Arch Linux live ISO on a thumb drive in case I need to do a fresh install, and in case I need to do a repair. In case I mess up my system by playing around with it too much, and I need to plug a a thumb drive of Arch Linux in and log into my system and do a repair. Now, so every month, so of course, as you know, Arch Linux comes out with a brand new ISO every month. And it's not for updating the system, it's just for new installations. So I always like to keep the newest one on my thumb drive. And like I said, they come out with a new one once a month. So once a month, I was formatting my thumb drive and putting on the new Arch Linux ISO and making it bootable. Now that's a lot of wear and tear on the thumb drive, because when you do that, not only is it copying the ISO onto it, but it's formatting the whole thumb drive and making it bootable and then putting the ISO onto it. And I was doing that every month. So like I said, that's a lot of wear and tear. Whereas with the Ventoy, you format it once. When you put when you install the Ventoy onto it, it formats it once, makes it bootable once, and that's it. And then you can copy ISOs onto it. And if there's a brand new ISO for a distribution that's already on there, you can copy the new one onto there, and you can leave the old one on there as well, or you can delete it. But you're just copying and pasting ISOs onto there. You're only formatting it once and making it bootable. And then, of course, you have the advantage of having 5, 10, 15, or 20 ISOs on here. So like I said, I finally got around to using Ventoy. I have Ventoy on this thumb drive, and I'm going to show you how to use it. So I think this might be the longest introduction I've ever done. So let's get to it. Oh yeah, that was 7-minute introduction. Yikes. So today I'm in a virtual machine of Debian with the awesome window manager. And of course, you're probably thinking, no, that looks like your Arch Linux system. So just to make sure, let's call up xterm and let's do a neofetch. There we are. I'm in Debian 12. I just had to prove it. So anyways, I'm going to plug in this thumb drive, which has Ventoy on it and about, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 ISOs, just to show you. So it's plugged in, and let's open up my PCman FM. So here we have PCman FM opened up, and here it is here. You can see it, Ventoy. So let's click it on, and this is what it looks like. I have, what do I have? I have Antex Linux, Arch Linux, Debian, Endeavor, Linux Mint, the brand new Linux Mint that just came out a few weeks ago, Linux Mint Debian, MX Linux, and Windows 10. Yes, sir, I have a Windows 10 ISO. So these are all the ISOs. So like I said, sure, you could just take a thumb drive, format it, and put all these ISOs onto it, but you won't be able to plug it into a computer and boot onto it and play with the distribution or install it. What this is this is putting the ISOs onto the thumb drive, but the thumb drive has been made bootable. So you can plug it into a computer, boot onto it, pick one of the ISOs, play with them, play with it, test it out, and install it. And that's the beauty of this thing. So that's what it looks like. So now I'm going to give you a demonstration. And my cat is back. This is Hope. So what I'm going to do is play a video for you. And this is a video I made with my iPad. So I had to put my iPad here and film, so it may not look too great. Anyways, let's take a look at it. So this is the video I made with a real bare metal computer that has Debian installed on it. And I plugged the thumb drive into the computer, my Ventoy thumb drive, and I went into the terminal and I rebooted into the system. So let's play the video. Here we go. I apologize that it doesn't look so great and it's kind of shaky. And so I went and rebooted. You can see I'm typing in reboot. And I did it wrong because I forgot that when you're in Debian, you got to use sudo to reboot or shut down from the terminal. When you're in Arch Linux, you don't have to put sudo in. So I spend most of my time in Arch Linux in case you haven't been following my channel. So there you go. So anyways, it's rebooting. So I had to press the button 12, F12. I kept pressing F12 and now it takes me into the BIOS. And now you can see I have the choice of Debian, Windows, or my thumb drive. Now just let me pause this for a second. Now the reason why I have a choice of Windows is that this particular computer, and this is a real bare metal computer, it's not a virtual machine. This computer is a dual boot computer. So I partitioned a hard drive. So part of the hard drive has Windows in it, and the other part of the hard drive has Debian in it. So when I'm using this computer, I have the choice of logging into Debian or logging into Windows. So now you can see the first choice is Debian, the second choice is Windows Boot Manager, and the third choice is my thumb drive with Ventoy on it with a bunch of ISOs. So let's continue with the video. So I chose the thumb drive, and there it is. It's booted onto the thumb drive. Now you can see on the top it says Ventoy, and sorry about being out of focus in that. And you can see I have all these ISOs. I have Antex, Arch Linux, Debian, Endeavor, Linux Mint Ubuntu, the brand new one, 21.3, Linux Mint LMDE 6, which came out in September, this past September, MX Linux, and Windows 10. So when you're on this page, you just use your arrows to go up and down, right? And I guess I'm going a bit slow there. I think this is going to end up being a long video. So you just use your arrows to go up and down and select the one you want and hit enter. And you know what? I don't even remember which. Oh yeah, I did Linux Mint. The brand new Linux Mint 21.3 Cinnamon that just came out a week or so ago. So you hit enter. Then I'm going to hit enter again to boot into normal mode. And now now it came up. This came up and I hit enter again. And I'm booting into a live version of Linux Mint Cinnamon 21.3. And there we go. We're booting into it. And as you can see, we booted into Linux Mint Ubuntu, Linux Mint 21.3. And you can play with it, test it out, take it for a spin, or you can install it. Just like that. So that was a quick demonstration. I hope the video quality wasn't too bad. And now I'm back in my virtual machine of Debian with the awesome window manager. And I'm going to go to Firefox. I have Firefox open here and I'm at the Ventoy website. Now you can get Ventoy in Arch Linux. You can get it from the AUR, the Arch User Repository. And I looked for it in Flatpak and I couldn't find it. And as far as I know, it's not available in the package managers of distributions. Now, it might be available in a package manager of 1, 2, or a few distributions. I don't know. If it is, let me know in the comments. I'd be interested in knowing. But I know it's not available in Debian. It's not available as a Flatpak. And it's not available in the official repository of Arch Linux, but it is available in the AUR, the Arch Linux User Repository. Anyways, you can get it this way. You can get it right from the website. So you can go to the website, you can read about it. They just released a new version of it today, believe it or not, because today is Wednesday, January 24th, 2024, and a new release just came out today. But anyways, You can go to the website, you can read about it, learn more about it, and from the website you can download it and install it in any Linux distribution. Debian, Arch, any Linux distribution, it will work. You can even download it and install it in Windows. But I'm not going to go there today. So what you're going to do is you're going to click on Downloads. And we see here, we have a zip file for Windows. We have a tar file for Linux. And we have an ISO for Windows. Now, this ISO will only work in Windows. I tried it for Linux and it didn't work. And then after I tried it and it didn't work, I read on their website that the live ISO is only for Windows. It's not for Linux. If you want it, this is what you're going to do. For Linux, you're going to download it, click it on. You're going to go here and we're going to download it. Oh, before we do that, you're going to scan down. And then you have the choice of the live ISO, which is for Windows, a zip file, which is only for Windows, or the tar, which is for Linux. And it's only 20 megabytes. It's nothing to download. So I'm going to click it on and download it. And it's downloading. And it's done. Okay. Next, I'm going to close my web browser. I'm going to open up my file manager. You can open up Nemo, PCman FM, or any file manager that you want. And I'm going to make a folder. So I'm going to make a folder. I'm going to call it, what should I call it? Ventoy install. Okay. Now you don't have to do it this way. You could just do it in your downloads folder, but I prefer to do it this way. So there's the zip file or the tar. I'm going to cut it and I'm going to go to my new folder, Ventoy install. And I'm going to paste it in. Then I'm going to click it on. I'm going to right click it and I'm going to extract it here. So let's extract it. That's done. Okay. And there it is there, Ventoy, a folder of 1097. So I'm going to open it up, and these are all the files. When you install Ventoy on here, it's going to automatically format it and install their software on here. Okay, so you're going to plug it in. Now, what we want to do is, we want this file here, ventoyweb.sh. So I'm going to open up a terminal. Okay, so what you're going to do is go into the terminal, and you're going to cd into your Ventoy folder and ls it, and you're going to cd into this Ventoy folder here, the one that they made when you did your installation or when you did your download. Cd into Ventoy, then you're going to ls it, and the file we want is this one here. Okay, we want this file, ventoyweb.sh. We're going to run it. So I'm just going to clear the screen. And you have to do this as sudo. So we're going to do sudo /ventoyweb. Okay. So we're going to do sudo /ventoyweb.sh. We're going to hit enter. We're going to put our password in. So we're going to open our web browser and we're going to go to Firefox and we're going to paste it in. I'm going to hit enter. And now it brings up this. So what we're going to do is make sure we're on the right disk, and we are, because I plugged in an 8 gig USB thumb drive into my system. So we make sure we're on the right one. This lock means that this system is going to work for secure boot when you're trying to boot into a computer. So I'd leave that on. So the main thing is you want to make sure you're on the right disk, and it is. And I'm going to click on install. It's giving you a warning. Your thumb drive will be formatted. Now I pre-formatted it. I don't know why. So it's giving you a warning. It's going to format your thumb drive and everything will be lost. That's on it now. Click OK. And it gives you a second warning telling you to make sure you know what you're doing. I'm going to click OK. And it's installing Ventoy on my thumb drive. And that's it. It's done. And I'm going to close this. I'm going to close my terminal. And now we see here, we have a Ventoy. And there's nothing in it though. So now we got to go in and download an ISO. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go to my real computer. Okay. So this is the folder where I keep my ISOs. And I'm going to go into my Arch folder. And I'm going to go into the January folder. I have everything in folders. I'm going to copy this ISO into my Ventoy thumb drive. And it's copying it. And let's copy one more. Let's go back. Let's go back. Let's copy, I'm going to copy my Antex Linux. Let's copy that. No, you know what? I'm not going to copy Antex Linux. I'm going to copy Debian. Debian 12. I'm going to copy my Debian 12 ISO. Let's copy it. Let's go to Ventoy and let's paste it in. So now I have two ISOs on my thumb drive. I have Arch Linux and Debian. And this is a 64 gig thumb drive, so I could probably get about, I don't know, 20 or 30 ISOs on it. And it's bootable. So I'll be able to use this to boot into a computer and test and experiment and play with a distribution and install a distribution. So all I need right now, all I need is one thumb drive. This thumb drive is 64 gigabytes. I already have about, I don't know, 7 or 8 ISOs on it. Like I showed you, I even have Windows 10 on it. And it's bootable to play with and experiment with another distribution or to install it. This is fantastic. I love this. I wish I would have done this a long time ago. And that's it. In this video, I talked about Ventoy. I took you to their website and I explained the advantages of installing Ventoy on a thumb drive. And I showed you how to do it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like it and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching. Until next time, I am the Linux Mensch.